Okay. Oh my God. I admire this woman so much. I am honored beyond belief. She is here on TSFS. Chrissy Metz, the incredible actress, Emmy nominated, Golden Globe. The only nomination I want is a Golden Globe. I feel like the Golden Globes are so much fun, girl. Like they must be a blast.
Yeah, so we the first year, Mandy and I and the show and Sterling, I think, got nominations. And then I believe the following year, I think Chris and Justin. So like I, listen, to be nominated to be in the conversation is enough,
Yeah.
but it would be cool to win something sometime, if I'm honest. It would be kind of cool. But I also feel like I'm sort of still new in this world. I'm like the new girl in school, and so I'm like, I don't want anything unless I earn it. I don't want that.
Oh, I think you've earned
So
it. Well, look, you are the star of This Is Us, which was like such a monster show. And now the other monster show, The Hunting Wives, which is like so good. I mean, did you think it was going to be as big of a hit as it is?
no, like I remember reading the script, Rebecca Cutter, who is the showrunner and writer. I love her. And she was like, listen, you're going to be sort of the moral ground and the redeemable character. And I was like, oh, I love that. And I'm like, let me read this script. And I was like, oh, okay, she's cheeky. She's salacious. This is different and cool. So it was originally going to be at another network. And then when it got picked up by Netflix, we were like, oh, maybe more people will see it. But I certainly didn't think somebody would be stopping me and justice for Star in the airport as I'm going to LA last week. Like I just did not expect that. I was like, oh, wow, like people are really watching it. So yeah, no, we had no idea.
Were you upset though that your character didn't have a lesbian scene? I mean, I would have been a little like, you can't write me in a lesbian scene with like Brittany Snow's character. Come on. She's doing everybody in
Well,
that town.
well, poor Sophie, Brittany's character. She's listen, they're all troubled women, right? They all got something going on. And that's why I think we can relate to them, and that's why I think people enjoy watching it, whether they think, oh, I'm better than her, like I would never act like that, or maybe I should act like that, or oh, I could never, but I want to. Like there's just we're we're complex creatures, and so I, for me it's so many I run to the comments with this particular show because I want to hear what people are saying.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, this would never happen. This is so far-fetched. Cut to there's people who are like, oh, this is happening at the country club that I'm a member of down the street. And I'm like, what? Clutch my pearls. So, I think some people don't want to believe that people act that way or people aren't troubled, but we are because we're human. So there was something for everyone, for
I
sure.
guess. Well, and the
Mm.
whole thing is that like all these straight women are now sort of like entertaining should we be lesbians because like the sex is so hot in it. I mean, have any women come up to you in the airport and gone, thanks to you guys, I've left my husband and I'm having hot lesbian sex? Like, have you had that yet?
It's nothing that extreme,
Okay.
and I certainly hope to not dissolve marriages. Um, Perhaps there was trouble in paradise prior to the show.
It takes a few
However,
things. Yeah.
yes. However, there have been so many people texting me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Brittany and Malin are so hot. Like they're so gorgeous." I'm like, "I know." It's just very, very sensual and they're two beautiful women and like, it's interesting because we don't normally see that and we haven't really seen that in this context. And so I think that's what's sort of shocking. And but art imitates life. And I think that it's important to sort of show people like there are other ways that people live their lives.
I'm
There really
assuming.
are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the hunting wives, I mean, not only that, but Callie's character with her husband, who's the sheriff, who's like, I mean, let's just be frank, there's like a pegging scene. I mean, people were like, is this the first
I
time on TV?
I feel
Weird
like such
on.
a I feel like so silly, but when I read it, I was like, what is that? I had to ask my publicist. I was like, do you know what this is?
You're such a good Christian woman. You're such a good Christian woman. She really,
I but well, I like to be a good Christian woman, but like I was like, what in the world? And she's like, you never saw Sense8? And I was like, wait, what? What are we talking about? So anyway, who knows what my search bar looks like? But I was like, oh, I want to know what. I don't want to feel like an idiot, but it was certainly a shock. And then I was like, you know what? Like, to each his own. Like, if you're not hurting anybody, if you're not compromising someone and their morals, their values, their standards, who am I? Who am I to judge about what people like and what they don't like, you know? Even if it's shocking to me, even if I didn't know what the heck it was. But it was certainly like, oh, oh, you know, and some people didn't even know what was happening until they saw her, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like this is how we learn, right? This is how we learn.
I'm assuming it was a closed set during these sex scenes, but like, or did you get to
Yes, for
watch?
sure.
Okay.
No, 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 no. I honestly I didn't work very many days, which was a bummer because I loved the girls so much and I just wanted to hang. But you know, even though the story was all about Star and her, you know, my character and her daughter, it I only think I worked maybe 11 days the whole season.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's like
Wow.
it was
Really?
very cushy. Yeah, but it was like we just sort of crammed in a bunch of scenes. You know, we try to make it as efficient as possible because there was a lot going on. There's a lot of cast members and locations and stunts and blah blah blah. You know,
So
yeah,
much.
so much.
Dermot Mulrooney has always been one of my lifetime crushes. I don't know if you watched My Best Friend's Wedding, which back in
Of
the day,
course,
right? One of the greatest
of
films, right?
course, yes.
I don't know. Were you drawn to him like I would have? I mean, I kind of would have been obsessed. He's
Well,
so,
yeah. I mean, I remember sitting in our cast chairs waiting to do the next scene, and I was like, oh my gosh. This is so cool. And he could not be more normal. Like he's a musician, he sings, he plays like the cello. I'm like, who are you? It was really cool. And even Malin or even Brittany, like I hadn't worked with them, and Katie Lowe's, who like I'm obsessed with now. Um, all of them. It was just like, oh, this is really great that we get to, be here and play together.
oh,
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, talk
Yeah.
about a movie star. I mean, all of you are stars, but I mean, he's had quite a career too. That's like,
Oh, forever. Like I'm like, is he 200 years old? I don't understand. And he's just such a dear and so no ego. There's no
really?
pretense. Yeah, it's awesome.
Is there any chance
Great.
Star is still alive? There's a lot of theories that she's in a coma, Jill's in a coma. Are you
Why
caught?
not? Okay. Why not? I wish I knew. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it was just a flesh wound, and Star is in a coma or she's at the hospital. But so many people have reached out and are like, we need to know what the conversation was between Star and Jill before Jill, shot her up and left her in the kitchen to just bleed out. Spoiler alert. And so my theory is that remember when Jill was rubbing off like the whatever on the car, and Brady was like, "What? And why is the GPS information gone?"
Yep.
My my theory, I haven't even spoken to Rebecca about this, is that Jill somehow was searching for Abby. Excuse me, Star was searching for Abby, saw Jill hit Abby, and that's why Abby was limping through the woods before Margot actually shot her.
Mm.
And so Jill knew that Star knew. And so she came to confront Jill, and Jill was like, there's nothing I can do but, kill her dead. So I would love to see that scene, or maybe, whatever else Star knew that none of the other ladies knew. So we'll see.
Do you feel like the show, was there any conversation on set? It gives me very much Dallas vibes. I know it was shot in Texas, the old school Dallas, Larry Hagman. It gives me, there was just so much drama on Dallas back in
Yeah.
the day, I mean, was there any inspiration drawn from any of those old kind of soaps, or am I trying to make a connection that's not there?
No, maybe for the girls, maybe for, the hunting wives in that group, perhaps. Like for me, I was certainly the outcast, like, felt like I was like the hired help. Maybe I was friends with them back in, high school and then gained weight, got a divorce, became a single mom, moved to like the smaller, like little unassuming neighborhood. But I I would think that maybe for them, but for me, like I know women like Star, and my mom was a single mom, and we did live in a trailer park, and like we were struggling, and I couldn't do all the extracurricular things, and so that's for me the draw to that particular role, and also just to have a woman who's not going to be a pushover. You might have felt sad for her, or she was the outcast, but like she's not going to be a pushover, and she's going to seek revenge and avenge her daughter and her death. Like that's not cool. Like she's just not gonna roll over because you guys feel sorry for her, you know, or because she is a good Christian woman doesn't mean she's not a human who wants to take someone down because by God she's tired of being, put in that corner. So yeah, that's why I was drawn to the role. But I don't know. I haven't even asked the girls about the Dallas thing. But yeah, the drama is certainly heightened for sure.
Can you give us any indication? Are we getting a season two?
I haven't heard anything. I would think because people were really into it, and
Oh.
I would think I think they left it open-ended enough, but I don't know anything. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I think you're
Yeah.
getting a season two. I think I saw somewhere, Netflix every once in a while releases their streamers. I mean, you guys are number one, I think, still like, I don't know how many billions of streams or something you've had
I
on Hunting Wives. It's crazy.
think it's like 1.7 billion minutes of streaming.
Oh, maybe
And
that's,
then I think we've been in top 10 since the release. And then I think we're still like top three or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it's hard to cut through. There's so much good content. There's hundreds of shows.
oh my God.
It's like, how do you cut through? So it's just really cool that people are watching it and then they're rewatching it or they're talking about it because that's what you want. You want to have people commune and like, oh my gosh, could you? And oh, did you? It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, the show is so fun. Last question on this, because I want to talk so much about your career. And I mean, you just have an incredible career. Um, were you shocked at how much attention Malin's characters, Wigs, have gotten? The Wigs are like, and did Star wear a wig? I think it looks like it's your real hair, but I don't know.
This is funny. Okay, so that's another thing I ran to the comments where, and I don't, I think I am like that mama bear, like I'm very much Star Jackson because I'm like, don't you talk about my girl like that? Don't you talk about Mullen like that? Even though she's a terrible person as Margot in the show, um, I'm like, so many Texan women were like, oh no, we dress this way. Oh, and we wear wigs. Oh, and they look like this. They were like, we couldn't believe how accurate it was. So I was like, see, guys. But it is funny because somebody's always going to have to say something, right? They're going to always have to pick apart something. So I was like, you know what? Let it be the wig. Let it be the wig and not the acting, or let it be the wig and not the storyline or something. But it was funny because the Hunting Wives socials made fun and like put the Malin's wig or Margot's wig on all of us. And so it's like, and I think the best part is like none of us take this all too seriously in that like, yeah, you can make fun of it and bad press is I guess still good press, but
Yes.
um I know it's the wigs, unfortunately, I don't think people realize how hard it is to make a wig look remotely real consistently throughout a show. Like it's hard. It's hard. And I know it just sounds silly because you're like, it's just a wig, but it's not. So I was like, I don't like people hating on my girl or her wig. It's not her, but it's the wig. But I don't think any of us like have taken it to heart. However, I went down the rabbit hole of different salons in Tyler, Texas, where the show was supposed to be set. And I looked at like the most popular haircut for like a woman my age or Star's age. And I was like, this is what I'd like. This is what I think is very, um, trendy or popular. And so we got it done. We shot 3 scenes with it. And they were like, oh no, it's too sad. Like she can't be this character, have this wig. Like everybody will be just so sad for her. It won't be good. And I was like, oh okay. So I did have a wig, y'all, but they were like, no, let's just go back to your real hair.
So you had to reshoot all those scenes.
Yes, unfortunately, we shot like 3 scenes over. Yeah. And thank goodness, because y'all, the wigs are hot. You hear me?
Oh,
It's like having like a hair hat with a wig cap and clips and everything else that you have. Like it's like a vice grip. So I'm grateful. And God bless anybody who wore a wig on that show because it's not easy. Okay. Yeah.
you watch reality TV at all? Like, are you a Real
Oh yeah.
Housewives of Beverly Hills fan?
I'm not a Real Housewives, although I did hear they're going to be making Hunting Wives reality show. They're
Really?
looking. Yes, I just saw a huge sort of campaign for people that wanted to apply. I was like, so I think that's how Real Housewives of whatever the original one was. Orange County? I don't
Well,
remember.
yep, RHOC was
That's
the
the original?
original. Yep, that was the original one.
Okay.
And then I
Well,
think
I
they
think
had,
that was, oh, go ahead.
no, no, no.
Sorry.
You go. Because I think it was Atlanta after that. You know, they had Real Housewives of Dallas for a minute, but then they
Yes.
let
What?
that go.
Why?
I think there was too much controversy with the actual women that they had casted. Now,
Um,
it's interesting that you say that because Hunting Wives has kind of renewed this interest in Texas women,
yes.
like,
Yeah. No. So we'll see if it actually, happens. But yeah, I think that the Orange County original Housewives was inspired by a character from the OC. Melinda, do you remember Melinda's I forget her character's name. I don't know if that's actual fact, but art imitates life. But art imitating life with reality. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see if it happens. I mean, I'm sure it'll be interesting and crazy.
what did your colleagues on set have to say? You know, one of the things that people are gravitating towards with the Hunting Wives is that it's kind of a pro-conservative MAGA. You know, these women are like hate abortions and, shoot everything. I mean,
Mm.
Hollywood's notoriously liberal. I mean, did people or your care or what was the conversation like on set? Did people have a problem with like, okay, this is embracing and an audience seems to be embracing like, great, you're finally showing conservative gals, in the South, in Texas. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I don't know that just because we are portraying these particular people that we believe in these particular values. So, and that's what's interesting about being an actor is you might not, but you have to sort of find that middle ground of, there really is something in the villain, like the protagonist, the antagonist, like you find whatever that is and you bring it to the scene. But and I don't know that it's glorifying, these particular ways. It's just sort of enlightening maybe the closed-mindedness of a particular person or also like, yeah, you can have these conservative values and that's okay too, but also maybe not project them onto people, So I think that it sort of to the line between there are people like this and you can feel that way, and then there are people who don't agree with it but might be portraying it. Um, or that there are people who are presenting like everything is fine and great and God-fearing, and then they're doing these terrible things, behind closed doors, right? And then if you're really Christian, you don't even judge that because, as we all know, like only God can judge us. And so it's layered, and I think sometimes it can get campy or people think it's dramatic or like out of control, but there's a lot of real stuff going on, and for better or for worse. So I sort of take what you want and leave the rest. But um, not everybody was aligned with the values of their characters for sure. But they knew where to how to play it,
Yeah,
So yeah, it's complicated.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, right? I mean, yeah, anybody that's an actor, right? You're presented with so many different roles, and yeah, you have to make decisions. Let's go back. You grew up in Florida. And
Yes.
you talked a little bit about the struggle growing up. You didn't have a lot of money. You were raised by a single mom. Did you always know like you wanted to be an actress and singer? I mean, like
No.
that like went from
So
you
my
really?
no. So my dad was in the Navy. So we lived in Japan for 9 years, and then my parents divorced, and then we came back to Florida, and I was the baby, and then my mom had two other daughters, and I became the middle child. And that dynamic shift certainly had a lot to do with who I guess, was destined to become, which was sort of like the entertaining diplomat. I was always able to see both sides of an argument or be like a moderator or whatever. And so that helped me to really have empathy. And also because I was this big girl from a small town in Gainesville, Florida, I didn't look like any of my friends. I had a really tumultuous childhood. My stepfather was, hard on me. And so I think that helped to understand people and empathy. And I was certainly looking for something outside myself. Never really saw myself on TV or shows. And I was always hooking my friends up with, the cute boy in school. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to have a boyfriend kind of thing, And even though they were like, Chrissy, you're so funny, you're so this, you're so that. But because I was the chubby girl, everyone's like, we can't be attracted to chubby girls. And so it really helped develop sort of just this understanding of people and the human condition. I didn't realize that, of course, at 14 years old. But it wasn't until really like I was teaching right out of high school, I was teaching preschool and like I sang in choir. I always wanted to do theater, but I was too afraid. I had no self-esteem. None. And so it wasn't until my sister heard about an open call at this Holiday Inn in Gainesville, and she was interested in being a print model that she was like, "Can you please take me?" Because our mom's going to be like, "This is a fake. We're not, no, we're not doing that." I was like, "Okay, I'll take you." And I was almost 20. Yeah. And so we go, and my sister auditions. The lady comes out, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And in my heart, I was like, "Take me away!" I don't think I belong in this town right now. I don't know what to do, where I'm going, or how I'm going to get there. But like, I think I have something to offer and share, but I don't have the confidence at all. Like I was afraid of my own shadow. And so my sister's like, "Well, sing for her." And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" And like, it freaked me out. And it wasn't like I was even doing solos in choir. Like I just had no confidence. And so I ended up auditioning and she's like, "Well, if we're interested, we'll call you back." They called us back. I ended up doing like a showcase after months of, training and workshops. We went out to LA and we did a showcase for agents and managers. And lo and behold, my first agent, Jackie Lewis, who is still my dear friend, wanted to sign me. And I was like this chubby girl with this crunchy LA looks, gelled, curly mess of a hair. And she is, God bless her, but I had no idea what in the world I was doing. And I wanted to sing because music was my first love. But she was like, "No, you're funny. Like, we need to get you into acting and da 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 da." Oh, okay. And like, I get it because like I was the class clown in high school and like I was funny, but it really came from like self-deprecating humor and let me make fun of myself before you do and let me like pretend that as if everything is okay. And that's I think also how acting sort of came to be because I've been acting like everything was fine most of my life, even though I was like this troubled little girl. So I had like a foundation, but no like formal training. I didn't get to go to like NYU. I didn't go to Tisch or Carnegie Mellon, like all the dream places you would think about going.
Well, and I
And
was going to say to you, Florida was like the breeding ground for like the Mickey Mouse Club. I mean, we're all kind of the
oh,
Justin Timberlake,
oh
Britney
yeah,
Spears. I'm like, did
oh,
you ever audition for that? I mean, your voice is like terrific.
no. And it was especially back then, like you never saw chubby people on TV. And if you did, they were probably men and they're like late 40s, 50s who are like playing Santa Claus. Like you're always going to be sort of a stereotype or like the butt of the joke. And it took a long, long time. Um, and I guess really thank God for Dan Fogelman and the executives at NBC and at Fox to like say, "Oh, well, Kate Pearson wants to be a full-fledged woman and she might have a different body shape, but like she's still aspires to be all these things just like any other person. She just happens to wear a different dress size." And so I'm really grateful for that. But like leading up to that, the auditions were the butt of the joke, the like, just not fun. And I was like, this is wow, okay. But I was willing to do it because I wanted to act. And then my agent needed an assistant, and I became a talent agent for almost 9 years.
Wow.
I know, girl. I know.
Wow.
Talk about Yes, and I think I ate my weight in sprinkles cupcakes. Yes, I did. And I was miserable. I was really happy most of the time and really miserable the other half because I was aspiring to do something and went to LA to do it and didn't really have a chance. And also needed to stay there to pay my bills. Like I had to work. But I would have auditions like once every 4 months, maybe for a year or something. Very, very small opportunity. So This Is Us was the first show I ever even tested for. So it was like, ooh, but that's why I just have to believe like if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if it's meant to be, it's gonna find you, you know.
I guess. Okay, so you're hustling all these years. You have that story of Hollywood where like, the only roles that you're being put up for, the butt of the joke, of course, like the weight is the story, right? You get This Is Us, monster hit, like Hunting Wives. I mean, monster, everybody watched that show. I mean, so like
Yeah.
Did your life change overnight like you hear in Hollywood? Suddenly, like, your agent's getting calls all the time. Obviously, you get nominated for these big awards. I mean, I'm sure the money changed. Like, was that like everything you kind of read about in Hollywood?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I was living in LA for 12 years by the time This Is Us, I booked it. And I was ready to go back home to Florida because I had no money. Literally 81 cents on my bank account, you guys. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it's not
Oh,
hyperbole. It's not like a story that just sounds cool. This poor girl. I'm like, oh no, I was broke. Like, broke. And it was like, what do I do? Like, do I keep pursuing this? And then it broke. And then, of course, the show became wildly popular. I didn't even have a laptop. Like I was afraid of buying my first laptop. I was like, this is too expensive. Like it took it was like my life changed in light years overnight. And it was like I was slowly catching up, like it was, and I still am because it's still like a whole new life I never thought about ever having. So it was, yes, opportunities were coming. Um, and I'm so grateful for them. And then I did an episode of Tracy Morgan's show, The Last OG, and it was so fun because I got to do comedy, and comedy was really like what I thought I was going to do. And so it was cool. But then I was like, oh, people still think of me as the girl who cries a lot, which I don't mind because I do cry a lot.
this is awesome.
Um,
I mean, every episode at the end, we were all tearing up all the time. I'm like, how much
yeah,
longer can I take this?
yeah,
Several
right.
seasons.
Yeah. Do I want, is this cathartic? Is it torture? Is it both? And for me, I knew it was coming, and I still, it's emotional because you're like, oh, this is life on life's terms. And that's hard. I mean, that's what we're all trying to figure out. So, yeah, I mean, my life, a whole 180 change. Uh, everything changed. Everything changed.
I mean,
I
you're
mean, I
everywhere. Everywhere. I
know. Well,
mean, your cover of People magazine, you've been in
well,
every, I mean, I don't know if tabloid is like the ultimate dream, but you've been in, you're written about. They obviously are making money off your name. I mean, you are such a star. It's so interesting. Do you feel like you've made it, or do you still have that like imposter? I don't even know if it's imposter syndrome, but that fear, like, I mean, because
oh,
I'm like, God, you're such
definitely.
a star.
Yes and yes. Imposter syndrome. Am I going to work again? Am I actually a good actor? Am I able to mentally and emotionally handle this business? It's hard. Like this business, I mean, I always joke and I'm like, oh, this is the business of rejection. Oh, and I chose it. Okay, Chrissy, what's the psychology behind that? Let's call the therapist because she's on speed dial. Like it's helpful because it's so like acting, or people are like, oh gosh, it's just entertainment. And it's so much more than entertainment, because I have really learned a lot about myself and about life and about every issue, whatever the character is going through or whatever the show's about. I really dive deep and I'm like, I want to understand this world or this person or this writer. And that to me is what's so enjoyable. And I pray that I get to always do that. But it's hard. Like it's emotionally, like you really, I can't even explain it. It's sort of like you have to have this emotional endurance, that I'm still cultivating. So, and I'm grateful. I am so grateful for it. And in the meantime, I get to pursue music and other endeavors, which is like, what a blessing. But for me, what's most important is like, what impact do I get to make on the world? Like when people see me, what do they feel? What do they feel about the characters that I'm playing? Like, has it opened their heart or their mind? Has it had them question their own, morality or their whatever it is? Or is it like, gosh, like this is just a regular girl that's just doing things that I could do too. And I hope to be inspirational and to bring hope to people. So I want to leave my a positive thumbprint, you know,
Oh, I think you
behind.
are.
So
I mean, God, you
I'm
are.
trying.
Oh
I'm
my
trying.
Lord. In your characters, in your career, in your pursuit, and you're so open about your body image. That's one of the things I connect with you the most about. Like, I was always an extremely overweight kid, even into adulthood, and I did every diet, Weight Watchers. I mean, I took diet pills, I took laxatives, which is the worst one, really, because everywhere
Oh,
you go, you're trying to, you're basically shitting yourself in public. That was like the worst one. Anyway, finally, at almost 30, I went to a mindful eating therapist, and it clicked, and I lost 60 pounds naturally. But I'm with you.
amazing.
I was that same person. I really put my career on hold for so many years because of the way I looked, and people comment on your body all the time.
Oh, that's all they comment about. Like it's so interesting to me because unfortunately anybody who is not a particular, let's say straight size, it's like even if someone loses too much weight, it's like people are just going to pick you apart for whatever reason. And if I don't attach to the good or to the bad, and if it's something strikes a nerve, if they're like, "Oh my God, you look so fat in this picture," or whatever, and I feel that insecurity, then it triggers something in me. But if that's all they can say is like, "Oh, my body's bigger than theirs," or it looks a certain way in a particular outfit or dress, I'm like, I'm doing all right. Because you don't know who I am. You don't know what I stand for. You don't know how I treat people. You don't know how who I am as a sister and a daughter and a partner. Like those are the things that matter. This is the vessel. And I'm not saying that it's not like a huge, massive um, plight in my life, but it's also helping me empathize, understand, research, like be educated about so many other things. And as we know, like food is not the issue, right? Like it's not the it's the symptom. There's so many other things going on in our lives. And unfortunately, I think that weight, because it's so the stigma is like you're lazy, you're sloppy, you have candy bars underneath your pillow. It's like all the things that are absolutely not true. And maybe you do have a candy bar on your pillow, and you know what? Good for you. Like
Yeah,
I'm
right.
afraid I'm afraid of ants, but like of course I love candy and chocolate. Not saying I'm above that. I'm just saying that like there's this idea of what we are when we're a different body shape. Meanwhile, there are people who are doing drugs and smoking and taking, prescription medication who might look beautifully put together, but are like not healthy inside, as we know. But they are glorified and it's sexy and it's rock and roll but overweight people get this like whole other slew of derogatory, just like assumptions, and you're like, dang, like you have no idea what the hormones are doing or like what medication they're on. Like you don't get it. You
Yeah.
just don't get it. So
And
I think it's difficult. It's difficult.
in what you've
Yeah.
been through, right? I mean, the catalyst for my eating issues started. My dad died when I was like 14. He got stomach cancer. He died within 14 months. And like food was the way to grieve, right? Like that was the coping mechanism for so long. I didn't know anything different, and then of course extreme dieting. And then to your point, people would say you were too skinny. My mindful eating therapist finally told me one day, she said, you'll never be thin enough or big enough for everyone, ever. Like you're just never going to be. So like, just be happy and grateful for the health that you have. And I really
Yeah.
cultivated a gratitude. And I had read though that you feel kind of the most body confident that you ever have, and like kind of the more
Yeah.
you're the most at ease, I guess maybe now. Like, how did you get to that place? And is that true? Are you kind of like I own it? Because I know people come up to you all the time and they're grateful you're on TV. They can relate to your struggle. So where are you with your confidence now?
Yeah, I think it's well, it's so layered. It's um so when I wrote my memoir several years ago now, it was learning to love myself for who I am today. And that was so important for me to put in the title because I really believe that like if you don't love yourself for who you are right now, you can't get to the place you want to be because you can't get off of the ride, right? You're like, well, I feel terrible about myself, so I'm just going to eat. Now I feel even more terrible, so I should continue to eat. For me, because food was my thing. It was my crutch, it was my comfort. Um, feeling sort of not seen or heard as a child, and then also wanting to keep people at an arm's distance. Um, so it was like a safety thing, it was comfort. But for me now, it's like I know that I'm not just my body. And it's taken a long time to sort of realize that, like, who I am as a person, my soul, my spirit, my heart, that's what really matters. Everything else can change in an instant. Um, but being in like a really wonderful, healthy, loving relationship with my boyfriend, I feel like he's really tended to the soil where it's like he always says, there's nothing to be gained and nothing to be removed. You're just as you are. I love you. And like, oh, and that's what I've
Oh,
needed. I know. I know. It's something I've needed like all my life.
Mm.
And so then that what that does, oh, I'm like such an
No,
emotional girl.
I know. I kind of want you to say it again, and then I know you're going to cry, but that's like the most amazing thing someone could say to you.
Yeah, yeah, nothing to be gained and nothing to be removed. I love you just as you are. And for me, it was like because I've always sought that for my own father, and like I never felt that kind of love, and especially as a girl, like the your father's the first man that's supposed to love you. And so that it's like a layered thing because then you don't feel good enough, and then every single room you walk into, you always feel like less than. And so for a long time, I felt less than. And not that it's all up to my boyfriend, but it certainly fostered this like, oh, so I just want to take care of myself and do the right things for myself because I want to be the healthiest I can be for the longest I can be, and to just put time into myself and understanding. And I mean, I literally wouldn't even like cook my own food because I was like, uh, meanwhile, if someone's coming over, I'm like, 8-course meal, and I'm like, why can't I do it for myself? Like, I don't feel good enough for myself about myself. So specifically, like just that journey, and then meeting my boyfriend, and like, he has such a quiet confidence. Like, he doesn't need validation from anyone.
Mm.
I'm like, wow, like this is incredible. Like I aspire to that. So there's been a lot of really healing aspects of our relationship. And then that just fosters the ability to like, because he doesn't need me, he doesn't need anything from me. He doesn't need, in a disordered way, I should say, that I can put time and energy into myself. And it's not like, oh, unfortunately, some people are in relationships and like, oh, you've gained weight, or like, oh, you're too skinny now. It's just I want you to be happy, whatever that looks like for you. So I've been able to like put that time and energy into myself in a real way, not like because I'm doing it for someone else, not because I'm trying to fit into a particular dress size, but just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna be going into perimenopause soon. I didn't know about all these HRT. I didn't know about progesterone. I didn't know about all these things and weight training and magnesium and food. Like, oh, so when you know better, you do better. So that I think is why I feel more and most confident is that like you're literally, it's like when you put energy back into something, it's just, it's healthy. Like it's not
Yeah.
disordered anymore,
Yeah.
So yeah. Not that I certainly do want to change my body in the sense of like wanting to be as mobile, and like I'm super into calisthenics. I think it's the coolest thing. But also I love sports. I, who knew? And I want to be strong, and I
Yeah.
feel strong when I work out. So it's all of that combined.
Well,
It's all
and
of
I
that.
have to imagine, okay, then you probably get pressure from all sides. Like, you want to be healthy, you love like working out, but then also you've built your career looking being who you are. There's probably also pressure to stay that character, to stay that person that people have seen on TV, right? Like, I mean, or
You wonder like, okay, if this is my niche, am I not going to have this niche?
right.
I don't know. Yeah, that's certainly a worry, but I have to believe like there are so many stories of so many people, varying sizes,
Yeah.
ages, you know. So I just hope and believe and trust that, like, should I lose weight? And I've lost some, but like, should I lose more weight? I hope I still have a career, fingers, toes, and eyes
Well, I mean,
crossed.
look at Kathy
Oh,
Bates. Look at Kathy Bates. Look at John Goodman. Look at
oh, yeah.
Jennifer Hudson. I mean, people transform all the time, and it's all about the talent that they have. And yeah, I mean, but you're
It's
so
interesting because people do lose weight for roles too. They gain weight or lose weight, but because it's seemingly controlled, it's okay. So I think it just should be a little more accepting. Like,
I love that you're so open and honest about it. It really that's one of the most inspiring things I think about you. You've worked with some amazing actors. Who's been the best actor that you have watched and you just like your jaws on the ground? Like I've worked in broadcasting for years and there's just like different layers, right? There's different some people are good and then there are people that you're like, "Oh my God." They're the way they interview, the way who have you worked with and you just sat there and like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest actors or actresses?
It's so interesting because some people are just so tapped in, right? You're just like,
Wild.
what? Um, I had the pleasure of working with so many people on American Horror Story on the Freak Show season, and that was like one of my first like, oh, this is really happening jobs. And Sarah Paulson to me,
Oh, oh my God. Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand. And she's that way in everything. I mean, from Marsha Clark to
Marsha Clark, like she was Marsha Clark. It was like crazy.
oh, and then with the Monica Lewinsky story. Oh God, what was the character's name? Oh, she's the one that like sold Monica out
Yeah,
essentially.
Linda Tripp, wasn't it Linda
Yes,
Tripp?
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I voice memoed her. I was like, Sarah, this isn't you. This is not you in the show. Who is this woman? Who is this woman? Like she transformed from like the way that she held the cigarette to the phone to the walk. Like I'm just enamored with her. I just think she's so special.
People, when you're outside, you always look at TV, you look at things, you go, oh, I could do that. I mean, I've done a couple of acting gigs, a couple of stand-up gigs. I'm like, I can't do this. It's so like to be good.
Scary. It's
It's
scary.
because to be good, it's like, oh, this is way more than just like showing up to a set and oh, I'm gonna research. I mean, the good ones, it's just, and
Even
you're a good one. I
even
mean, you're a person like I believe every character you are. This is us, like the Hunting Wives. I saw you in every small town as a small town. I mean, it's you do it, and it's very hard.
it is, I even say like when we consider like bad acting is still difficult because people don't realize it's an 18-hour day. There's 100 people looking at you. You've just broken for lunch, but now your stomach's full. Oh, but now you have to go to the bathroom. Oh, but now you're in the scene, and now this person who you were in the scene with is in a bad mood because they talked to their agent, and now they hate everybody. And then you're like, oh, I can't take it personal. And there is just so much going on any given second, any scene. Oh, and then you have to memorize your lines and then be on point, and then you're doing the scene 10, 12, 15 times, and it's not even your coverage, but you want to hold space for your other actor. It is a lot. I mean, it's such a privilege. It is such a privileged job. I want to be very clear, but like, it's hard.
Oh,
It's hard.
and to be like one of the top is just like where you are, where Sterling K. Brown is. I mean,
Oh, Sterling.
he's unbelievable. I mean,
He's he's cr- he
is
he's
he
another one. He's another one. He's another one that you're just like, huh? What? And he's just so wonderful, kind, smart, fun. Like, he's just that guy. And he is, but I have to say, I've worked with, I mean, so many actors in especially ever the cast of This Is Us that like everybody has something so special, so charming, so like the roles were cast so perfectly that I'm like, oh, these people are we even acting now? Like what's happening? But that's when you know it's really good acting when you're like, oh, they ain't even acting. So yeah, I mean, nothing is ever going to compare, obviously, to This Is Us.
I don't know. I told you when I meet you in real life, I'm going to rub you. You have unbelievable luck, girl. You get on these shows, Ryan Murphy to Hunting Wives. I mean, they just go crazy.
And
Um,
I just started actually BT Dub, just started a show in Pittsburgh with Liev Schreiber and Stephen Graham, and
okay, there's another one.
I am like, are we sure? Are we sure? Should I arrive? Is it really like,
Well, Lee
so
Schreiber would I kind of intimidate me. I have met him on a red carpet. I don't know. He's intense.
girl,
He's
girl. I was like, okay, Chrissy,
he's
how do you keep it together?
yeah, he's
What- He could not be
really? Oh,
more
good.
kind, more chill.
Oh,
I was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, because he's so again so talented, and it is intimidating because you think
he's
like,
quite
oh,
tall. He is a presence,
he's a presence
that's
for
right.
sure. Yeah, I
I
haven't
like
met
when
Steven just yet, but I am cannot wait because he's one of my favorites. I've loved him since This Is England, so I'm so. Did you see Adolescence?
yes,
So he's
yes,
the dad. He's the dad who
yes.
co-wrote and produced, and so he's the other lead in the show. And I just I can the one that I'm starting, the one that I just started with Liev, and it'll be with Liev and Steven. We're shooting in Pittsburgh right now, so I'm just like I cannot wait to meet him because I haven't done a scene with him, so I haven't met him yet. So. Yeah.
Let's talk about your move. You, after years and years in Hollywood, you kind of split your time now. You're in Nashville. Everybody's moved to Nashville. How do you like Tennessee?
Well, I've been coming back and forth for like 7 years now.
Okay, so you're like a long timer. Okay.
I bought a home like right before COVID. Actually, I was supposed to go on my first ever tour with the label that I was signed with. It was like my life. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And then the world shut down, and then everybody's lives changed forever. And so I've been just coming back and forth, writing during hiatus because I love writing music and I love, music. And I love Nashville because it's the quality of life. Like
Yeah.
everything's convenient. Everybody's like, if they say they're going to call you, they're going to call. If they're going to get lunch, they get lunch. If they want to
That
write with
never
you,
happens in LA. So that's amazing.
I know. And it's such a small, big town. And also there's just my family's in Florida. It's like an 8 hour drive or an hour flight. So I don't know. It feels very familiar. And I miss LA. I was just there and my friends of 20 years are there, but like I really just feel like it's Mabel, my dog.
Oh,
Uh, He is sorry, babe. So, I love it for so many reasons, and I do miss LA, but like that traffic, I think I spent half of my time there, just as we know, in traffic.
yeah.
I so, pros and cons to everything, but I do love Nashville.
Do you have any country collaborations coming up? You know, Chrissy and the Vapors, obviously your band.
Oh,
I mean, you're working with Blake Shelton. You want to, are
I
you,
mean, listen, my dream would be to ever duet with Chris Stapleton. He's one of my all-time favorites. Um,
God, yes.
Yeah. And on my kids' album, there's a gal named Lucy Silvis who sang a duet with me. And then Rachel Platten also was on that album, the kids' album. So, you know, I, it's, you have these big aspirations, but then when these people are with labels, there's so much red tape.
I
So
know.
I'm like, I don't know, like whoever knows, but for me, I want to continue to write music that it feels real and authentic to me.
Yeah.
And, God willing, that there will be some cool collaborations. But I mean, I love Chris Stapleton. There's so many artists and so many songs. There's so much talent in Nashville.
Well,
It's
music's
crazy.
another look. I think it's harder to be an actor, a good actor, and actress. I mean, what's interesting is so many people can sing. They can sing relatively well. Acting, again, you think people can until you really get into it, and then there's your level and Sarah Paulson. I mean, it's very, very hard. But singing, for some reason, you can go to a karaoke night and like everybody's like, "Oh,
You
damn!"
think, right? You're like, how can everybody? What? I know, and that's the thing here in Nashville. I'm
A lot
telling
of
you,
talent.
if they don't sing, they play every other instrument, or they can play every other instrument while they're singing. And you're like, oh, I mean, from people at the airport, just
Yeah.
entertaining people traveling to, these incredible studio musicians. It's there's, I think this is probably the most talented city for sure.
Um, a couple last questions. You've been so generous with your time. You talked about your man. It sounds like you're in this great relationship. You haven't revealed his name. Do you want to reveal it today? You want to tell us where he lives or?
Well, he lives in Nashville. And we've been really intentional about keeping it for ourselves because so much of even my therapist thinks like the worst thing you can ever do is put your relationship on social media.
Do they?
She thinks she means it. She's like, the worst thing you could do for your relationship is ever divulge it on social media because you're then, exposed to all sorts of opinions, good and bad. And then it becomes like, I get the curiosity. I think it's so cute. We love a cute couple who's like supportive and fun together, and so often we're like, do we? And we're like, nah. And I'm like, oh, but this was like a really cute picture. But nah, like we are constantly sort of having conversations about it. So I don't know if and when, if ever. Um, it might just be like Dolly and her husband, her late husband.
They did
But
it right.
they did it right, and I think there is something to like protecting that that relationship because it's really sacred, and I don't ever want it to be. I've had experiences in the past that I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that again. So we learn, we live and we learn. So yeah, but everyone's like, is he an actor? I'm like, no, He is not an actor. So I don't think I could date an actor.
I'm with you. Look, I'm married to a man in soccer, so I'm so thrilled that
oh,
he's not in
cool.
entertainment or podcast or doesn't want to talk for a living. It's so,
Right.
I don't know how people stay married to people in the industry. I'm like, oh my God. I can't
You
imagine
know,
being married to a man that's like, I've got to call my agent or it's like, oh,
well, and also it's like, hey, babe, we have to do this, this intimate scene this week. And I want you to know, like I get it, like it is acting, but like I had a boyfriend who was like, "Why did you have to kiss this guy 12 times in this scene?" I was like, "The first of all, I'm thinking of you, okay, when I'm kissing this person, and second of all, there's nothing romantic about it.
oh God, I bet. I
It
can't.
is so orchestrated. There's nothing romantic. Put your arm here, but move your head here. So the camera, blah. But I still think that it's still a difficult thing because we all know, didn't Brad and Angelina meet on set?
Oh, I know, right?
Ooh. And people could say it was destined or whatever, but all that to say, um, I think there's enough neuroses with me that I don't think I could date an actor. Not to be presumptuous, everybody, but I'm enough. I'm
Um, I love it. You've learned a lot about yourself. Would you ever get remarried? Would you ever do that
sure,
again? You would?
sure. Yeah. I think that there's something really beautiful about committing, uh, two people committing to each other in a public way. And even if it's a sweet little private ceremony, I just think that there's something really beautiful about that. I don't think you have to. And I, I don't know. I am a sucker for romance and I love love. So yeah, for sure I would. Yeah.
Chrissy, this has just been amazing. I mean, I admire your career so much. I can't wait to see what is next. The Hunting Wives is so good. This Is Us, so good. Just unbelievable. And I hope you end up winning that Golden Globe. You will someday.
We'll see. We shall see if it's in the cards. I mean, an Emmy, a Golden Globe, an Oscar, like it, it would be cool. Like it would be cool to just be recognized by peers. I think because it's special. Um, so we'll see. Who knows?
It's very hard to do, really. I mean,
Very, very,
really
very.
the same people win like over and over and over.
I know. You're like, oh well,
Paulson
okay,
wins every, and I mean,
yeah.
she deserves it, but it's like she wins every award. You're like, okay, you know.
It would be cool, but like I certainly don't. Um, I don't bank on that like being the sort of barometer for my career, even though it does provide more opportunities, if we're very honest. But you know, I think for me, moreover, like when Sam Rockwell comes up to me and I was like, what? And Alfred Molina, I was like, what? Or Sean Lithgow or whoever, all the actors that I revere who have written emails to Dan or who have pulled me aside at a red carpet or something. I'm like, oh, this is so, so, so rewarding. Like I couldn't even imagine it. So sometimes enough is enough.
Sam Rockwell acknowledged any of my work. Yeah, I'd be like, okay, like this is all I need. I mean, what? By the way, have you read For White Lotus yet? I mean, you'd be so good on that. I could see you.
Okay. And first of all, I love Survivor and Mike White, who's the writer creator of
Unbelievable
oh,
human.
is obviously was on Survivor. Um, I would love White Lotus. Like that's literally like I just I love that kind of stuff. Um, put it in the universe. I know it would be really amazing. We'll see.
Those shows are,
Yeah, there.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack, which is really cool. Yeah, I was set. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to ruin it if anybody hasn't seen the newest season of White Lotus, but
Oh, yeah, we too late. We've already run so many great scenes. I mean, come on, please. It's just unbelievable. So,
when she was like, "He is your father," I was like,
oh my God,
"Oh,
wild, wild. I know the
oh,
whole thing. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, Patrick Schwarzenegger was so great too.
whoa."
I mean,
I did not expect that.
me neither. He came out of nowhere. I mean, Mike White just has that magic about making all the characters. And even I loved the girlfriend group that kind of had resolution where you really thought that was going to go really dark. And then
Yeah.
they sort of had this beautiful moment, which happens with girlfriends. And, it just, he always surprises you. And
Yeah. and
Yeah.
make you really think.
Well,
And
Walter
yeah,
Goggins is another one. Like I don't even
yeah.
out of body. Like I don't know how I could hang out with him because I just feel like he's I don't know another person.
And I love the English gal who I cannot remember her name. His partner, his girlfriend in the
Yes.
show. Anyway, I thought she was just so dear and so adorable and like just willing to just go the extra mile for him, and he just couldn't even do that for himself, so he couldn't do it for her. And like, oh, and then yeah. Anyway, blah blah blah.
Chrissy and the Vapors, of course, is your band, your music. The Hunting Wives is out now. Is there anything I'm missing that everybody needs to go watch, consume of yours? Congratulations on all your success and more to come.
Oh gosh, thank you. If you have children, I have two children's books and two children's albums that I
Tell us,
really.
tell us. I'm sure we can get them on Amazon, but tell
Oh,
us
yeah.
titles where we can
Amazon,
buy.
the first book is When I Talk to God, I Talk About You, which is a gentle introduction to prayer for kids, but also if you're hoping or wishing for a child. I think a lot of people love it. And then that album is Prayed for This Day. And then the second book is When I Talk to God, I Talk About Feelings, which is just helping kids name their feelings and knowing that they can talk to God about them and that they can feel seen and heard, and that we treat the soil early on so people know and kids know that like they are important, and so are their feelings. And so the second album is called Big Feelings, and it's really just an album of like all the feelings: disappointed, sad, mad, excited. My nieces and nephews are on the songs. It's just like really special. So yeah, and then look out for this show on Apple TV. I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet. Yeah, so excited about
Yeah, I would be too. Oh my God, thank you for being here. Loved it.
that. Thank you so much.